Imagine you are standing behind a sticky linoleum-covered counter at like 2 in the morning.
Oh, retail nightmare.
Complete nightmare. Your feet are just screaming. You are in hour 14 of a double shift you are never, ever supposed to work.
Right.
The air conditioning died 3 days ago. And just as you are ringing up a stale pack of Swisher Sweets, a man who was literally murdered on this exact corner last week casually walks through the front door.
Wow.
He picks out a blue cherry Gatorade, asks you for exact change, and walks back out into the night.
Yep.
What do? Do you call the cops? Do you run? Or do you just, sigh, wipe down the counter, and assume you are finally cracking under the crushing, unavoidable weight of late-stage capitalism?
It is a terrifying question.
It really is.
Because the most honest answer
Yeah.
for a lot of people trapped in that exact socioeconomic pressure cooker is the third option.
Yeah.
You just wipe the counter. You do not have the luxury of losing your mind.
Yeah.
Because you still have to close the register at 6 a.m.
Exactly. Welcome to Off the Record. And if you are joining us right now, just know that we are recording this deep dive much later than usual.
Much later.
We are in the studio, the city is asleep, and we are pouring a couple of glasses of something very strong to properly calibrate our minds for the text we are about to unpack for you.
Essential for this one.
Very essential. And to our director, Ryan Thomas, who is sitting behind the glass right now looking very concerned. Do not panic, Ryan. We are keeping this strictly professional.
Strictly professional. We have an incredibly dense, highly layered source document tonight.
So dense.
And we are just, applying a little bit of bourbon to lubricate the analytical gears.
Precisely. Our mission tonight is to execute a rigorous, unsparing deep dive into one of the most brilliant, surreal, and genuinely challenging treatment documents I have ever gotten my hands on.
It is wild.
It is for a multiversal hood comedy satire called Black Clerks. And to give you the baseline, here is the logline.
Hit them with it.
It is the hottest weekend of the year in West Baltimore. We follow two chronically exhausted convenience store employees working at a place called Mart 24.
Right.
And over the course of a brutal double shift, they discover that their rundown corner store exists simultaneously across dozens of alternate universes.
And that premise is just the launch pad.
Just the beginning.
What makes this document a masterpiece of tonal collision is how it handles those alternate universes. Like when we say multiverse, you might immediately think of Marvel movies.
Spandex and glowing portals.
Exactly. People flying through portals. That is not what this is. This is a story where the characters have to survive local gangsters, art school gentrifiers, corporate time police, and Afrofuturist revolutionaries.
Yeah.
And they have to do all of it while dealing with increasingly unhinged alternate versions of themselves.
And stylistically, it is a massive swing. If you want to picture this in your head, imagine the original 1994 indie movie Clerks.
Heavens.
Right. That black and white, low-budget masterpiece about retail apathy. Imagine that colliding headfirst with the surrealist labor critique of Sorry to Bother You.
Oh, that is a perfect comparison.
Throw in the neighborhood specificity of Friday, the infinite chaos of everything everywhere all at once, and a bootleg VHS copy of a 1970s blaxploitation film that someone accidentally recorded over public access television.
It is completely wild. The visual language of the film is constantly fracturing.
Right.
It does not just change locations. It fundamentally changes the cinematic aesthetic based on which universe the characters are experiencing.
I love that part.
You have grainy, black and white indie realism leading directly into neon-soaked Afrofuturism. You have gritty 1990s hood dramas shifting into high-budget Tyler Perry-esque melodrama.
Yes.
Or A24-style trauma cinema where everything is muted, desaturated, and quietly devastating.
Right, and then suddenly transforming into a brightly lit, low-budget, multicam sitcom parody.
And found footage police body cam sequences, anime-inspired action interludes, it is all in there.
But here's the thing. To actually understand the multiverse in this story, you have to understand the purgatory these characters are starting in.
The baseline.
You have to understand the launch pad before you look at the stars. So let us look at the geography of this place. Let us start with Mart 24 itself.
Mart 24 is the ultimate liminal space. It is a decaying corner store trapped perfectly between two neighborhoods in violent socioeconomic transition.
Yeah.
You look out the front windows on side A of the street, and you see the old neighborhood. Boarded up row homes, liquor stores with bulletproof glass, memorial murals painted on brick.
Old men playing chess on milk crates.
Exactly. Dirt bikes revving at the intersection, and the glaring, aggressive blue light of police floodlights mounted on the telephone poles.
It is basically a surveillance state.
Completely.
But then you just turn your head. You look outside via the store, and it is a completely different planet. You are looking at vegan cafes,
Luxury lofts with exposed brick.
minimalist street art that was literally commissioned by a real estate developer. You have white influencers actively photographing the area to capture some kind of urban authenticity for their feeds.
Oh.
And my absolute favorite detail from the document, an artisanal dog bakery.
Which perfectly encapsulates the absurdity of gentrification.
Mm-hmm.
The store sits directly on the fault line between these two worlds, belonging to neither.
Right.
It is a monument to urban displacement. Nobody in the neighborhood knows who actually owns the building.
Mm-hmm.
And the detail that really sets the tone for the sci-fi elements is that the security cameras behind the counter occasionally show footage from alternate realities.
It glitches. And nobody cares.
Exactly. Nobody finds it strange anymore.
Mm.
The residents are so accustomed to the surreal, exhausting nightmare of their economic reality that a glitch in the space-time continuum is literally just another Tuesday.
Yeah.
When your rent goes up 400% in 2 years, a portal to another dimension just does not rank as your biggest problem.
The artisanal dog bakery across from the police floodlights, God, that is just, it is too real. It perfectly defines extractive gentrification. I will take a sip to that. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, so that is the cage. Let us talk about the people trapped inside it. We have to examine Malik Thomas.
The Dante analog.
Right. Malik is 28 years old. He is a former film student who essentially dropped out of life after student debt and suffocating family pressure just completely swallowed him whole.
Yeah.
The text describes him as the Dante Hicks analog for this universe, referencing the protagonist from Clerks, who is always complaining that he is not supposed to be there.
Right. Malik spends his days leaning on the counter, viciously debating the merits of classic rap albums with customers, while secretly, deep down, believing that his life ended years ago. The treatment describes him as brilliant, deeply observant, intellectually arrogant, emotionally avoidant, permanently angry, and accidentally philosophical.
Such a list.
His whole mantra is, I ain't even supposed to be in this timeline today.
Okay, let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
I want to push back on this a little bit.
Okay.
The document calls Malik brilliant, right? But he spends his entire day behind a dirty counter screaming at teenagers about whether Nas's Illmatic is better than Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt.
Which is a valid debate, but go on.
Sure, but all while convincing himself his life is a grand, inescapable tragedy. I ask you, is he actually brilliant? Or is he just utilizing intellectual arrogance as a shield to mask his complete and total emotional cowardice?
Oh, wow.
Because memorizing rap trivia and dropping $5 words does not make you a genius. It just makes you a human hard drive with a superiority complex.
Yeah.
It feels like he is using his brain to justify why he does not have to use his heart.
That is a fascinating read. And if we look at the mechanics of the story, I think the narrative actually agrees with you.
You think?
I do. His brilliance is entirely a defense mechanism, and we know this because the multiverse actively proves it. The recurring cosmic joke in this script is that every alternate version of Malik failed differently.
Right. The multiverse calls his bluff.
Exactly. In one universe, he actually graduated film school and became a highly respected director. In another, he is dead. In another, he is a mega church pastor. In one reality, he's an underground battle rapper. In another, he is a cryptocurrency cult leader or a wildly successful Hotep influencer. But the punchline that destroys his entire worldview is this. Every single version of him is miserable.
His misery is not situational. It is a feature of his operating system.
It is an internal spiritual rot.
Mm-hmm.
He blames the store, he blames the neighborhood, he blames his debt. But the multiverse shows him that even when he has everything he ever wanted, he still finds a way to be emotionally stagnant.
Which brings us to the perfect foil, the Randall Graves analog, the yin to Malik's miserable yang, Gray Washington.
Lil Dre.
Also known as Lil Dre. He is 31 years old, loud, reckless, intensely charismatic, and the writer uses my absolute favorite phrase in this entire document to describe him: spiritually immune to consequences.
It is such a specific, evocative character description.
It really is. I kind of love Dre's chaotic energy. Honestly, I am looking at you right now, and you have got a little bit of that going on tonight.
What?
Yeah, you are sitting back, swirling that bourbon, looking very spiritually immune to consequences over there.
Well, I am halfway through my first glass, and it is late, so we will see where the night takes us.
Fair enough.
But Dre is a brilliant character study because he actively, joyfully creates chaos. His worldview is that reality is already fundamentally broken and rigged against him, so why on earth should he respect its rules?
Yeah.
He steals from his own register constantly. He openly insults the customers. He hosts illegal sports betting parlays right on the counter next to the beef jerky.
Right next to the jerky.
He sells loose cigarettes, fake sneakers, and bootleg DVDs.
Not just movies, though, conspiracy DVDs. He starts massive philosophical arguments with strangers purely for the entertainment value. But what I find so compelling is the difference in how Dre and Malik react to the multiverse.
Completely different reactions.
When reality starts fracturing, Malik is terrified. It shatters his cynical understanding of the world. But Dre absolutely loves it. Because to Dre, the multiverse just validates every insane conspiracy theory he has been shouting about for years.
His line in the script is incredible. A portal opens up in the freezer, and Dre just points at it and yells, "See? I've been saying dimensions was real. That's why Sprite tastes different at Popeyes."
Huh. It is so deeply stupid, but it makes so much sense. Popeye Sprite hits different.
It really does.
It is multidimensional syrup. They are piping in carbonation from the fifth dimension. God, I need a refill. Ryan, is it okay if we pour another one? Ryan is giving the thumbs up. Actually, no. He is just staring at his phone. He is completely checked out.
We're officially off the record.
Yeah.
Far generously. Because we need to move to the supporting cast. The infinite supporting cast.
Yes.
And this is where the text transitions from a clever comedy into something genuinely profound.
Pouring now. Okay, walk me through the regulars. How do the people in this neighborhood function when reality is splitting at the seams?
Let us start with Miss Cora. She is the elderly neighborhood woman who appears in every single universe.
Every single one.
No matter what timeline they enter, no matter what cinematic aesthetic the film is shifted to, whether it is the neon Afro future or the muted A24 drama, she is always there. She always buys the exact same scratch-off lottery ticket, and she always knows significantly more than she should.
Her recurring warning is, "Baby, the walls get thin after midnight."
Yes. She repeatedly warns them with that exact line. And, crucially, nobody takes her seriously. They just brush her off as a crazy old lady. But what is fascinating here is, okay, wait, I am actually getting really fired up about this specific detail. Listen to me.
I am listening.
The text heavily implies that Miss Cora is a cosmic being, a literal multidimensional entity, an observer of the universe. And she has chosen to view reality through the physical form of an elderly black woman. Do you understand how brilliant that sociological commentary is?
Oh, damn. Wait.
Think about it. Society already completely ignores elderly black women. They are statistically one of the most marginalized, overlooked demographics in the country.
Right.
They are completely invisible to the systemic power structures of the world. So if a cosmic being wants to just sit back, buy a lottery ticket, and watch the multiverse unfold without being bothered by anyone, it chooses the demographic that capitalism and white supremacy have deemed the most invisible. It is absolute genius. She is hiding in plain sight.
That is, wow. Okay, you are right. That is incredibly heavy. She weaponizes her own systemic invisibility. That is brilliant writing.
It really is.
But speaking of heavy, we have to talk about Jasmine Reed.
Right. Jasmine, Malik's ex-girlfriend.
Jasmine is a burned-out ER nurse, and the document makes it clear she still deeply loves Malik, but she fundamentally, structurally cannot tolerate his emotional paralysis anymore.
Yeah.
She deals with literal life and death in the emergency room all day, and then she comes home to a guy who is permanently stuck in his own head. And the multiverse is incredibly cruel to them.
So cruel.
Because as reality fractures, they get flashes of different versions of their relationship across time and space. In one timeline, they are happily married with a house. In another, they are bitterly, violently divorced. In another, they never met and are complete strangers passing on the street.
Yeah.
In one, they are raising a child. In one, they are literal enemies. And in one, they are dead in one another's memories.
It forces Malik to confront the very real possibility that...
And I'm sorry, I just need to say something here. I need to pause.
Sure, here's up.
Because reading the Jasmine section of this document today, it honestly messed me up. Like, deeply.
Oh, why?
Yeah, like it really got under my skin because I read that specific line about her being unable to tolerate his emotional paralysis, and I literally had to close the PDF and walk away from my laptop for 20 minutes because that was my exact last relationship.
You are talking about Alex. I'm Abby?
Absolutely talking about Alex. It is exactly like Jasmine and Malik. I was Malik.
Okay, wait, let us...
No, I was sitting there, reading my little books, doing these deep dives, being so intellectually smug, debating the minutia of existential literature and podcast metrics while my actual real-life partner was working a high-stress job, begging me to just be present. Begging me to process a single human emotion that was not wrapped in a defensive academic thesis.
Hey, look at me. Drink your bourbon. You are not Malik.
I am a little bit Malik. I am emotionally avoidant. I use big words so people will not see how terrified I am of actually failing at anything real. And Alex just could not take the paralysis anymore, just like Jasmine. They just wanted me to be a person, and I was just a walking Wikipedia page of defenses. Sorry. I am sorry. I did not mean to trauma dump on the deep dive. This second glass of bourbon is hitting my bloodstream way faster than I anticipated.
No, do not apologize. It is okay. Honestly, I think that is why this text is so brutally effective.
Yeah.
You know, it uses these massive, absurd, high-concept sci-fi tropes, the multiverse, alternate timelines, portals, to drill down into the most painful, microscopic human flaws. You are reacting exactly how the writer wants you to react. You were seeing yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
And for the record, I think you were much braver than Melik. You were sitting here admitting it, for one. Velik would just argue that relationships are a capitalist construct and go back to sweeping the floor.
Thanks. You are a good friend. You are dangerously chaotic and spiritually immune to consequences, but you are a good friend. Okay. I am pulling it together, resetting the show. Let us move on before I do something stupid like text my ex at 3 a.m. Who else is in this store? Get me out of my own head.
We have White Kevin.
Oh my God, yes, White Kevin. Please talk about White Kevin so I can stop thinking about my own emotional inadequacy.
Gladly. White Kevin is a painfully earnest, aggressively progressive gentrifier. In the baseline reality, he is a documentary filmmaker shooting this highly invasive, raw YouTube series about, quote, the authentic Black urban experience. He is constantly entering incredibly dangerous situations in the neighborhood because he genuinely naively believes his own progressive social awareness acts as a magical, invisible shield protecting him from violence.
And the brilliant joke here is that every single universe contains a variation of White Kevin, and every single one of them is so completely, utterly insufferable.
Yes, it is so funny. The aesthetic changes, but his core annoyance remains constant.
Completely constant.
In one timeline, he is a true crime podcaster. In another, he is a nonprofit activist who centers himself in every narrative. Then he is a crypto bro NFT entrepreneur trying to tokenize the block. A slam poet. A city councilman.
Oh my God.
And in one gritty reality, he is just straight up a sniveling police informant. He adapts perfectly to the aesthetic of whatever universe he is in, but his core socioeconomic function, extracting Black culture for his own financial or social benefit, while being completely oblivious to his privilege, never changes.
It is the slam poet one that destroys me. I can just picture him in a gentrified coffee shop, wearing a beanie indoors, aggressively snapping his fingers while performing a poem about a neighborhood he moved to 6 months ago. Okay, what about Detective Booker? Because this character actually brings up a huge philosophical dilemma.
Booker is fascinating. He is an off-duty cop who spends most of the movie just hanging around Mart 24, drinking free coffee, and actively pretending not to investigate anything. He just wants to run out the clock on his pension. But as the multiverse collapses and the store starts glitching, he starts to realize reality is breaking. And his variants are wild. In one timeline, he's a brutal, fascist, authoritarian super cop. In another, he is a grassroots anti-police community organizer. In another, he is literally homeless, sleeping on the pavement outside the store.
Which completely terrifies him.
Exactly. It terrifies him because, well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, Booker represents the illusion of intrinsic morality. He looks at his multiversal selves and realizes that his morality is not innate. He is not a good person or a bad person. His entire ethical framework is entirely dependent on his socioeconomic circumstance. If the environment changes, his ethics change, which raises a massive philosophical question.
Which is what?
If you are only a good person because your current timeline and your current bank account allow you to be, are you actually a good person? Or are you just comfortable? Like, wait, I completely lost my train of thought. Wait, what was I just saying? Something about bank accounts.
You were talking about situational ethics. You were saying morality is an illusion based on comfort, which, by the way, I need to push back on.
Push back, then.
You were saying if I put you in a desperate situation, you would just abandon all your morals. You would rob me.
Depending on the timeline. Absolutely, I would rob you.
Oh.
If I am starving in a post-apocalyptic timeline, I am taking your sneakers and your bourbon. Morality is a luxury of the middle class. Everything is circumstantial. Pour me another one.
Done. Ryan, we are on drink 3. Buckle up, Ryan. Because we have to talk about the physical mechanic of this movie. We have to talk about how the multiverse actually works, how it practically functions inside a convenience store.
The freezer.
The ancient, busted-ass humming freezer in the back of Mark 24. So it is a massive heat wave in West Baltimore. We are talking 102 degrees with crushing humidity. The store's compressor, which has not been serviced since 1998, finally overloads. And instead of just breaking down and melting the ice cream, that specific freezer acts as a dimensional fracture point, a tear in the fabric of space-time.
Yeah.
Timelines start overlapping right there in the frozen foods aisle. Customers walk in from the wrong realities. The origin labels on the bags of potato chips change mid-scene from English to Mandarin to alien symbols. Dead people just casually walk in, browse the magazines, and buy a Gatorade.
And my absolute favorite cinematic detail conversations restart differently. Like, you are mid-sentence with someone. The reality shifts with a little visual glitch, and suddenly you are having a completely different, highly aggressive argument with the same person about a topic you do not even understand.
Right.
And nobody reacts correctly.
Because everyone just assumes they are either high, extremely sleep-deprived, deeply traumatized, dehydrated, or actively losing their minds, which, honestly, is same. Let us be real. If I saw a dead guy buying Skittles right now, I would just assume Ryan slipped something into my drink to boost engagement metrics. I would not assume I had discovered the multiverse. I would just assume I finally permanently cracked under the pressure of the content creation industry.
It is the most realistic reaction to sci-fi I have ever read.
Wow.
Think about it. If a glowing interdimensional portal opens up in a convenience store at 2 a.m., the exhausted retail employees are not going to turn into the Avengers. They are not going to grab weapons and fight Thanos. They're going to be annoyed. Because a portal means a mess. And a mess means they have to find the mop and clean up the transdimensional puddle before the morning manager gets there.
So Act 1 transitions to Act 2. The glitches are accelerating. The lottery numbers on Mrs. Cora's ticket are physically changing while she holds it. Songs are morphing genres on the radio, like a trap beat suddenly turns into a 1940s jazz standard.
I love that.
And a guy in a ski mask runs into the store panting and yells, "Y'all gotta close the portal before the midnight transfer."
And Dre, being Dre, thinks it's an elaborate prank. Malik thinks the guy is just experiencing a severe mental health crisis.
Yeah.
And then the bell on the door rings, and another Malik walks through the front door, wearing a different uniform.
Bam. Welcome to Act 2, The Block Across Infinity. This is where the movie just becomes a complete unhinged carousel of madness.
Pure chaos.
The universes are colliding fast. We need to spend some real time talking about these alternate realities because the author spends a massive amount of the treatment breaking down the sociological meaning of each one.
Okay, we got to talk about the ATL timeline first.
Yeah.
We have to.
Yes. Oh my God, the ATL timeline set the scene for me.
Okay, visually, it is described as looking like an oversaturated, hyper-glossy music video, like a Hype Williams video from 1999, fisheye lenses, bright colors, shiny surfaces.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in this universe, everyone scams professionally. It is a utopia of the hustle. They all dress perfectly. They speak entirely in motivational LinkedIn-style hustle culture slogans. And everyone somehow magically owns 3 different LLCs.
Hey, brother, I'm just building generational wealth, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let me sell you this alkaline water that cures asthma.
Exactly.
It is so funny. It is a complete parody of internet entrepreneur culture. And Dre, in this universe, is a literal millionaire. He owns nightclubs. But he still works the midnight shift at Mart 24, just for fun, because he likes the chaos of retail.
You know who would absolutely thrive in the ATL timeline?
Who?
You. You would crush it.
Me? Oh, absolutely not. I am way too anxious to scam anyone. I get nervous returning a mildly defective sweater to the Gap. I practice my apologies in the mirror. I could not run a scam.
No, hear me out. You have got that secret underlying hustle energy. You just hide it behind your NPR voice. In the ATL timeline, you would be wearing like a custom neon velour tracksuit, selling fake real estate in the metaverse to tech bros.
Oh.
You would be ruthless.
Okay, first of all, I would look incredible in a neon velour tracksuit. Let us just establish that's canon.
Obviously.
Second of all, if we were actually in the ATL timeline, I would absolutely let you ruin my life. You would be a millionaire scammer, and I would just be your loyal, velour-wearing sidekick. We would have matching oversized gold chains.
I would definitely be a millionaire scammer. I would be selling fake crypto to White Kevin. I would take all his documentary funding.
Yes. Take all of White Kevin's trust fund money. Oh my God. Okay, wait. We have to focus. We are drifting. We are officially drifting. What is the next universe?
The prestige trauma timeline.
Right. Okay, let us get serious, because this one is actually a genius critique of the film industry. It shifts visually to look like an ultra-serious, award-baiting A24 film. The color palette is completely desaturated, everything is gray and brown, the aspect ratio narrows.
So bleak.
Nobody makes any jokes, everything is utterly silent, paced incredibly slowly, and emotionally devastating.
The script specifically says, a customer buying a bag of potato chips becomes a 12-minute, unbroken meditation on systemic despair.
I literally cannot handle how accurate that is.
It is so real.
You know exactly the type of movie they are making fun of. It is just a long, agonizing, handheld drone shot of a guy holding a bag of Cool Ranch Doritos, staring out a rain-streaked window, while a single cello plays one sad, discordant note for 12 unbroken minutes.
And Dre, our chaotic king Dre, absolutely hates it. He looks around at this depressing sepia-tones nightmare and drops the best line in the whole document. Why everybody whispering like sadness got subtitles.
Like sadness got subtitles. I am putting that on a t-shirt. I am putting that on my gravestone. Dre is the greatest philosopher of our generation.
It is hilarious, but it's also a razor-sharp, devastating critique of how Hollywood operates. The industry only values Black stories. They only give out the Oscars and the funding if those stories are drenched in absolute suffocating misery. The prestige comes entirely from the trauma.
Exactly. It is poverty porn. If we are not suffering beautifully in slow motion, it is not considered high art. It is not considered important. Okay, what about the Hotep apocalypse?
Oh, man. So, in this reality, bizarre internet conspiracy theories became actual codified government doctrine. The Earth is ruled by podcast philosophers who think they have unlocked the secrets of the universe. Everyone wears an excessive amount of gold jewelry. Nobody trusts Western medicine.
And it is illegal to discuss the moon landing, because obviously the moon is a hologram.
It is a felony to look at the moon. And the funniest, darkest part is Malik's counterpart in this universe. In the baseline reality, Malik is a nobody. But in the Hotep timeline, Malik is worshipped as a literal prophet.
Wait, remind me why.
Because in 2019, he accidentally tweeted some completely fake, historically inaccurate misinformation while he was drunk, and that tweet ended up becoming the foundational religious text of their entire society.
It is terrifying because I can see that actually happening. I have uncles who already live in the Hotep apocalypse in their minds. They text me YouTube links at 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
But the universe that genuinely made me mad, like the one that actually pissed me off and spiked my blood pressure, was the corporate utopia.
Yeah. That one is incredibly dark. It is the sterile nightmare.
It is so dark because it is happening right now. In this timeline, the neighborhood has been fully, aggressively gentrified. Mart 24 is gone. It has been bulldozed and replaced by a structure called the M24 Urban Marketplace Experience, complete with a trademark symbol. Everything is beige. Everything is automated. There is no cash, only biometric scanning. It is emotionally and culturally sterile.
And the old neighborhood residents, the people who actually built the culture, the people who gave the area its soul, they have all been priced out, evicted, and replaced by AI customer service holograms. And the most insulting part, the holograms are programmed to speak in sanitized, focus-grouped urban slang.
Welcome to M24, fam. Your artisanal kombucha is bussin'. Please swipe your retinas to pay. It makes me sick. I hate it. I hate gentrification so much. It is a parasite.
It is violence. It is literal economic violence. They take the aesthetics of the culture, they strip away all the danger, all the history, and all the actual people. They paint it beige, and they sell it back to white tech workers at a 300% markup. Dre almost cries from rage in this scene, and I am right there with him. Fuck the corporate utopia.
Yeah. Fuck M24. I'm sorry, Ryan. I know you said we need to watch the explicit language, but fuck it. We are off the record. This is real life.
Ryan can edit it out. Or he can leave it in. I do not care. I am passionate about this.
Yeah.
I am vibrating with passion right now.
You are so incredibly smart, you know that. Like, it is actually intimidating how smart you are when you get fired up like this. You just synthesize the violence of urban renewal perfectly.
Thank you. Drink your bourbon. Drink it.
I am drinking it. I am drinking it. Okay. The last major universe they highlight is the Black sitcom universe. And this one fucked me up almost as much as the Jasmine realization.
Multicam comedy.
Yeah, multicam. Bright, flat, overhead lighting. The visual language completely changes. Characters literally freeze in place when they walk through the door so the invisible, omniscient studio audience can applaud them. All the systemic trauma of West Baltimore, all the crushing poverty, resolved in 22 minutes with a commercial break for laundry detergent.
Right.
Gunshots happen outside, but they're always off screen and nobody ever actually gets hurt. Arguments always end with people hugging and learning a valuable lesson about friendship.
And Malik cynical, bitter, highly intellectual Malik becomes utterly horrified by it.
Because he realizes something devastating. He realizes this fake, plastic, aggressively cheesy sitcom universe is emotionally healthier than his real one. In the sitcom universe, people actually talk about their feelings at the end of the episode. They sit on the couch, the music gets soft, they apologize, and they grow. Malik looks at this horrifying parody of reality and realizes, oh my God, Steve Urkel had better conflict resolution skills than I do.
Man, that is so sad. That is a profound indictment of modern masculinity.
It is, which transitions us perfectly or terribly. I do not even know if I know how to transition anymore into section 4.
The heavy themes. God, I am so drunk.
No, are you drunk? Be honest.
I am extremely intoxicated, yes,
Really?
but my mind feels perfectly clear. It is strange. I feel like I'm vibrating at a higher frequency of truth right now. Like I can see the matrix of the script.
You look like you are vibrating. Your eyes are very, very wide. Okay, let us talk about truth. Let us talk about the first major theme the author outlines. Black identity as performance.
Right, so what is fascinating here is if you connect all these realities, every universe we just talked about presents a different, highly exaggerated, acceptable version of blackness for consumption. You have the respectable version in the sitcom, the threatening version in the hood drama, the entrepreneurial version in the ATL, the traumatized version in the A24 film.
They're all boxes.
Exactly. And the film is explicitly asking you, the viewer, who gets to define authenticity, who built the boxes, and what happens when identity itself becomes algorithmic. I literally cannot say that word.
Algorithmic. You got it. Take your time.
Algorithmic. Thank you. What happens when your identity becomes algorithmic? When you are just performing a hyper-specific version of yourself that you think society wants to consume, it is W.E.B. Du Bois' concept of double consciousness, but filtered through the multiverse.
Who defines authenticity? I mean, who does? Is it the culture? Is it the people outside the culture observing it? We spend our whole life, listen to me, listen, look at me. We spend our entire lives trying to fit into these boxes. We perform for our parents. We perform for our bosses so we do not seem threatening. We perform for our ex-girlfriends who want us to be emotionally available when we are just fundamentally broken inside.
You are going back to Jasmine and Alex. You are looping.
I'm just saying. It is all a performance. Malik is performing the cynical intellectual because it is the only performance that protects him from feeling like a colossal failure. It is armor. You are a genius, by the way, for bringing up double consciousness.
I did not even say anything that profound. I just read the outline and mispronounced algorithmic.
No, but the way you read it, you synthesize the information. You are a synthesizer. You pull the threads together.
Okay, calm down. Let us look at the next theme before you start crying. Retail as purgatory.
Oh, God. Too late. Prepare the tears.
The physical store of Mart 24 becomes symbolic of suspended adulthood, the feeling of being trapped in amber. And the core line, the thesis statement of this entire movie, the thing that grounds all the sci-fi chaos, is this sentence. Nobody leaves because capitalism has engineered permanent exhaustion.
Capitalism has engineered permanent exhaustion.
Think about the horror of that. Across infinite realities, infinite timelines, with infinite staggering possibilities of magic and technology, everyone still works shifts. Everyone still owes money to somebody. Everyone still has to perform the daily, grinding, soul-crushing act of survival. The multiverse changes the visual aesthetics of the world. It changes the clothes and the music, but it never, ever changes the grind.
I'm so tired.
I know you are. We all are.
No, I mean, I'm so tired right now. Look at us. We were sitting here at, 3 a.m., doing a 60-minute deep dive for an audience we cannot even see, for an algorithm that is going to swallow this audio file in 2 days, trying to sound smart, trying to sound insightful, trying to hit our word counts. We are in audio purgatory. We are just content machines.
We are in Mart 24. This studio is Mart 24.
We are Mart 24. And Ryan Thomas is White Kevin. No, wait. Ryan is the corporate overlord from M24. Ryan, you are engineering our exhaustion. You are keeping us here.
Ryan is just trying to do his job.
Yeah.
He is just looking at the sound levels. But you are right. We grind. We just grind day in, day out. We are Malik and Dre. I am Dre, apparently, because I am chaotic and I like drinking on the job. And you are Malik, overanalyzing everything and projecting your relationship trauma onto a script.
I do not want to be Malik anymore. I want to leave the store. I want to go to sleep.
Hey, I love you, man. Seriously, we are going to get out of the store. We are doing good work here. We are breaking down complex sociological themes. This is a good deep dive.
I love you too. You are my favorite person to do this with. I would not want to be in audio purgatory with anyone else.
Okay, we're getting way too sentimental. The bourbon is taking complete control of the emotional steering wheel. We need to talk about the comedy.
Yeah.
The third theme the author presents, comedy as psychological survival.
Right. great. The tears of a clown hit me. How does the script use comedy?
The document points out how the characters in this film constantly, relentlessly joke during panic attacks, during extreme violence, during existential collapse, during grief, and during terrifying police encounters. They never stop firing off punchlines. Laughter becomes both a form of resistance against a cruel world and a tool of self-destruction.
That is the most profound thing I have ever heard, because if you make a joke, you do not have to feel the pain.
It really is. It is how Dre copes with being poor. He laughs at the apocalypse because if he stops laughing for even 1 second, the reality of his poverty, his lack of health care, and his marginalization will completely physically crush him. The joke is the armor.
Laughter as self-destruction, because it deflects the healing process, just like Malik's intellect deflects his emotional growth. Wow, God, this writer needs to be given a blank check. I am speaking directly to Hollywood right now. Give this writer all the money, all the A24 money, all the sitcom money, all the Marvel money. Just made this movie.
Okay, we need to finish this shift. We are in Section 5, Act 3, the closing shift, the climax of the film.
The closing shift. We are bringing it home. If you are listening to this right now and you are still with us, bless you. We are stumbling to the finish line. We are highly compromised, but we are going to make it. Okay, so Act 3. Reality completely deteriorates.
The walls do not just thin, they shatter. It all collapses.
All the universes we just talked about overlap simultaneously inside the claustrophobic space of Mart 24. It is pure, unadulterated chaos. You have different versions of the exact same customers physically arguing with one another in the aisles. A Hotep customer is arguing with a corporate utopia customer about respectability politics in front of the ATM. The multicam sitcom versions are trying to hug the prestige trauma versions, who are just staring blankly into the distance, crying silently.
And meanwhile, the freezer, the ancient compressor, finally gives out entirely and starts creating literal, swirling black holes inside the store. It is apocalyptic. Gravity is failing.
And Dre, chaotic, beautiful, reckless Dre, he wants to stay. He does not want to close the portal. He wants to keep it open forever. He is holding onto the counter, screaming into the wind, why go back? Every universe trash anyway.
Which is such a nihilistic but completely understandable reaction for someone in his position. If every reality is broken, if every system is rigged against you, why not just live in the brokenness? Why fight to restore a baseline reality that hates you?
But then, amidst the chaos, we get the epiphany, Malik's realization. And I want you to read this part from the document, because you read it earlier, off mic, with such gravity. Deliver the line, my friend. Tell them what Malik realizes.
Okay, Malik is standing there. He looks at the swirling multiverse. He looks at all the infinite versions of himself flashing before his eyes. The successful director, the megachurch pastor, the Hotep prophet, the dead man, the failure. And he realizes something that shatters his entire worldview. The multiverse is not showing him possibilities.
Oh my God, here it comes.
It's showing him excuses.
Holy shit.
Yes, every single version of himself, across infinite timelines, with infinite resources and infinite advantages, blamed the world for becoming emotionally stagnant. The wealthy director version blamed Hollywood executives. The pastor blamed God. The baseline Dante Hicks version blamed his boss and his debt. But the common denominator in every single universe, the one thing that never changed, was Malik choosing not to change.
It was him. The universe was not the problem. He was the problem. Oh my God, I am losing my mind over the script. That is brilliant. That is so brilliant. He wanted the multiverse to prove that he was a victim of circumstance. He wanted the universe to tell him, yes, Malik, you are a tragic hero. But instead, it proved that his misery was a choice. He is the architect of his own purgatory.
Yes, exactly. And so, armed with that devastating truth, what does he do?
He makes a choice. For the first time in his 28 years of life, he makes a tiny, seemingly insignificant, but completely revolutionary choice. He chooses to leave the store during his shift.
Act 3 resolves as dawn finally arrives in West Baltimore. The sun comes up. The universes slowly separate back into their respective lanes. The chaotic overlapping memories start to blur. The physical evidence of the multiverse, the portals, the aliens, the duplicate people disappears. The store returns to normal.
Mostly normal.
Mostly. And Malik, he stands behind the counter. He looks at Dre. He takes off his plastic M24 name tag, and he quits.
And Dre just laughs right in his face. Dre does not believe it for a second. He says, see ya Monday. Because Dre knows the cycle of poverty. He knows Malik has no money, no degree, nowhere to go, and rent is due in 4 days.
But Malik walks away anyway. He walks out from behind the counter, pushes open the glass doors, and steps out into the morning sun. He finally actually leaves Purgatory. He does not know where he is going, but he knows he is not staying.
And then the final shot of the film. Cut back inside the store. It is quiet. The compressor is humming. And deep inside the ancient, broken freezer, behind a row of frozen pizzas, another version of Malik opens his eyes. Boom. Cut to black. Roll the credits. Play some absolute banger of a track over the credits. Maybe Kendrick Lamar, maybe Wu-Tang, I do not care. Just something incredibly heavy and triumphant.
That is a perfect, haunting ending. It implies the cycle is not broken for everyone. Malik escaped, but the multiverse is still out there. The system still exists. There is always another Malik trapped in the ice, waiting to wake up.
God, what a document. What an absolute ride. I am exhausted. I'm physically, intellectually, and emotionally spent.
Me too. My brain is empty.
Look, if you have stayed with us through this entire messy, chaotic, deeply emotional journey, thank you. Seriously, we appreciate you more than you know. This was a heavy one.
We do. We really do. We went off the rails, but we found the truth.
Ryan Thomas, I need water, and I need you to call me an Uber right now. My car is staying in the studio lot tonight. I am not driving anywhere.
Before we sign off, before Ryan finally cuts our mics and puts us out of our misery, I just want to leave you with one final thought. You, listening to this right now.
Do it. Drop the knowledge on them.
Look, if there are infinite realities out there, infinite timelines, infinite versions of your life, infinite branching paths you could have taken, and in every single one of them, you are still finding an excuse not to change. Maybe the universe is not the problem. Maybe your boss is not the problem. Maybe your ex is not the problem. Maybe you just need to take off the name tag. Stop hiding behind your intellect and walk out the front door.
Yes, walk out the door. Quit your job. Text your ex. No, wait, do not text your ex. That is a terrible idea. I take that back. I am texting Alex. I do not care. I love you all. Good night.
Mike.
Ryan, cut it. Cut the...